Hello, I'm NeoGets and welcome back to Rogue Legacy. Now unfortunately, this is being recorded in post-commentary because I had a slight hiccup where Audacity crashed while I was recording this episode and I didn't actually hear any sort of warning from my computer, unfortunately, as I have most noises turned off to not interrupt the recording. So we've lost the original audio. Now, much of the run around here with this spelunker was just me chatting about what's been going on and where I'm sort of headed at the moment on the channel. So I'm going to attempt to recreate a lot of that. I explained briefly when entering the castle that I was hoping in this episode to take on the fountain and succeed, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. And if I don't succeed in this episode, I have got a recording from the second character that I occasionally mention that I run, and he defeated the final boss shortly actually after failing to defeat it last week. That's right. I went on my second character just to mess around, get some more practice in on him and things, see how the different gear setup did. The different gear setup was so superior to the gear setup I have on this guy. That was a stupid move there. The other guy, he's completely focused on the damage up options that are in the, come on brain, castle screen. He's not unlocked most of the classes or any of the extra stuff, so every bit of money he's earned has gone into mostly damage, a lot of armor as well. And he's got slightly better gear, so after last week, went on him to attempt to fight the final boss, went so much better. That video is about 10 minutes long. I've shown it to my friends, but I will release it tomorrow, so Saturday, if I fail to get through the end of this episode. Now I know that's a bit of a silly statement as I know what happens in this episode, but I'm trying to just keep it as true to the original as possible. So I've also got another bit of footage that regardless is going up tomorrow. It's really good. It's my best ever run in this castle. It starts about 2 rooms into the castle. I started running, I'd got the recording on for if I fought the boss. Not recording, running, but I'd got the program open and ready. Got 2 rooms in and thought, actually, I feel good about this character. Started recording, so you miss very little. I only killed a couple of creatures by the time I started the recording, and it was just such a good run. Ended with about 25,000 in my pocket, so I was really, really happy with that. And so hopefully you'll enjoy that. It's about a quarter of an hour long. It's sped up from the original about 35 minutes of recording that was there originally. It just was far too long because it had no commentary on. I didn't have Audacity running at all while I was doing that because it was just to get footage, not to actually make an episode out of. So hopefully, I have a bit of issue with my aim here. There we go. And then, oh my god, look how many of them there are. That did make me jump when I saw all of those suddenly appear. So yeah, I hope you'll enjoy watching that. The speed at which the video runs makes it incredibly entertaining to watch. Or at least I find so. The friends I've shown it to also enjoyed it, so hopefully you will too. And it's just such a good run. I haven't had as good a run since. A lot of that's because most of my runs since have been in New Game Plus on my second character, and New Game Plus is evil. The nicest way I can put it is complete and utter evil. Everything is so much harder. All the mobs that you get so used to seeing here in the castle no longer appear. Everything is from the tower level and beyond. Now, as you'll notice, a lot less fear of this visionary here today than there has been. I've seen an awful lot of them since you last saw me running around on the second character. I've got a lot more comfortable with them. Now, I think I'm a bit of an idiot in a second. There we go, yep. Fortunately, not a no damage fairy chest room there. But the visionaries, if you actually just take a moment to stay calm, really not that bad. They only shoot out those 3 columns of the fireballs, so stand between them if you can. Really not so bad. They become quite dangerous though when there's other things around you trying to kill you as well. Just checking that I was heading the right way there. I wasn't sure if I got the correct path to the forest or not. So really it was a lot of tense times getting more used to a lot of the mobs once New Game Plus started, because, as I say, everything is mobs from the tower and from the dungeon, and a lot more of the mobs that you rarely in a normal game like here will see in the dungeon. There's a lot of mobs that I think I've seen before occasionally, but rarely, and they are everywhere in the dungeon and the tower. It's a really scary castle when you're in New Game Plus. I have actually resorted to putting a Grace Rune on. I'm actually on New Game Plus 2 now. I took about 7 hours, I think, to defeat the game the second time. About 15 the first time on that character, because it will tell you at the end how long you've taken. And yeah, it was a good run. 7 hours I was quite happy with. Could have possibly done it a little bit quicker, but I did an awful lot of runs just for money. And it's just so hard. I've been such an incompetent person throughout this series and all these episodes, and New Game Plus just really suddenly hits you. Now you'll notice, if you're observant, half that slime stayed alive just then when I dropped out of that room. Funnily enough, I'm not that observant, as you'll see shortly. I do despair sometimes at my idiocy in this game. But as I say, I thoroughly enjoyed New Game Plus, but generally not planning on... There we go, got myself surprised by it. Not planning on doing episodes of New Game Plus very much, or at least not as part of the series. New Game Plus will only be featured sort of as bonus videos when I do really well at anything, but other than that, no. So it's one of the things that I remember remarking on at this point was how small the enemies seem here. They are so tiny compared to the enemies you get when you've been running around New Game Plus, and they're just so much less scary. It really brings back that challenge you had when you first opened this game. You're at level 0 and you're just not sure what to do against anything. There I was just checking how many jumps I had, because anything less than 3 jumps, you haven't got a chance of clearing that section there. So successfully made it up, and actually I think that might be the final rune I needed. I forgot to check actually earlier. Oops, yeah, I was an idiot, went the wrong way there. Forgot to check, but that might have been the last one. I know there were only 1 or 2 left. So we'll have to see on that one. Now, here's one of my least favourite don't take damage rooms. I messed them up all the time, but successfully got up there. The fact it contained a stat increase means yes, I have got every single room now. So that's excellent news, because now every fairy chest from there onwards will be a stat increase. Here's one of the less scary mages, but I still managed to be an idiot in here and jump into a fireball, but because of how slow moving they are, actually one of the less scary high leveled mages. A lot of the higher leveled mages are terrifying, you know, and evil. Nearly got myself hit there. I've got to learn not to dash the moment I enter a room. Although saying that, one of the rooms I was in yesterday did actually killed a character by not dashing the moment I entered the room, because before I'd even had a chance to actually see any of the room, I was dead on a creature, because the moment I dropped in from the ceiling, I hit the top of a creature. Now that is so annoying, getting the Hedgehog's Curse late in, but fortunately, another one immediately. So wiped that out. Something to be careful of if you like the item you've got. And I'm noping straight out of that room. They are evil, and unless I've got full health, I do not take those on, or near full health anyway. But yeah, if you've got a good item, got to be very careful not to pray at those shrines, because it will wipe out your item. If you've got an item that's nasty, like the Hedgehog's Curse, great to wipe out the problem by just praying at another shrine to get a new item. You can actually complete multiple Calypso's compasses in a single run by praying at multiple shrines, so long as you complete one compass, then complete another one. Now here I'm backing out because I've decided to try and go get the extra health there was in a fountain earlier in the castle. Couldn't remember where it was, so I just quickly opening the map to check, see it over next to the boss room, so I'm going to go get that health just to survive a little bit longer on this run, get a bit more money. So there we go, a little bit recovered. It's not a huge amount, but it's a lot more health than the 10 I had entering that other room. So let's head back and try to take it on. And I hope this post-commentary isn't going too badly for you. It's the first time I've attempted to do a post-commentary, so I'm feeling very awkward actually doing it. And here remarking on how slowly that eye is actually firing, or was firing, that I was able to just walk up and take it out without having to worry about dodging its firing. Unfortunately, you don't see many of the simple enemies once you're in New Game Plus. That kind of ease does become a thing of the past. Everything is completely out to kill you in as painful a way as possible once you move on. And so it's tough, but so much fun. So reigniting that feeling you had when you first start this game and everything kills you within a couple of rooms. And it is exactly the same in New Game Plus. And I'm slightly ashamed, but at the same time kind of not ashamed with my use of Grace Rune to get through for my second playthrough. But I am actually debating turning a second Grace Rune on for my New Game Plus, now plus 2. Unfortunately though, you have a maximum of 5 runes, so even if I keep New Game Plusing and Grace Runing, I'm going to hit a point where you can't actually Grace Rune any further, and I'm just going to have to face the enemies are evil. Now, being very careful of that pillar of rock there, as most things mages leave behind do still do damage to you. It's kind of like the way in which if you mess around with like a dead snake or a dead bee or something, you can still be bitten or stung because the venom and things are still there. Now that was actually a deliberate jumping into the spikes there. I decided, you know, screw it, let's go and take on the fountain. Forgot about the death defy, so here I am just committing suicide a second time. I'm pretty sure that this Spelunker absolutely hates me at this point for sending its head into so many spikes, but I really wanted to get on and fight the boss rather than just do a really slow episode running around the castle earning money, as I've got semi-good at managing to get around the whole castle. And here I'm very disappointed actually in the characters I've got. Really was hoping for a paladin or a barbarian. They are my two favourite boss rush classes. So taking as much extra health as I could, because the Hokage really doesn't have a lot of health. I was just double checking really what my rune setup is, but it's still set up for mobility against the boss. So I'm very happy to head in with this setup. But as I said, not the class I was hoping for, really. And definitely want to avoid dwarves when fighting this guy. Well, fighting any bosses, really. The lack of range on the attacks is just so difficult when you're fighting high-level bosses as a dwarf. One thing that I actually think giants do very well at is fighting the bosses because of that increased range. Yes, it makes it harder to dodge the attacks, but it also just really ups your ability to take out the seconds. I was very happy I dodged the right way then, but starting to panic there because I was stuck on the fountain, and because the fountain, as we know, comes alive, really not the place you want to be when you're about to fight it. And so disappointed there, so close to killing him, and taken out. But that's okay, because as I say, we can just run straight in. Tempted actually to one time attempt it with a Vertigo character, see how that goes. Unfortunately though, that requires a Vertigo character to actually come in at the same time as I've got the boss room open, so bit of a hard one to set up, but I'll do a bonus video on that if I manage to set that up. Not that I'm convinced it will go anywhere, but we will see. Now, I was quite happy with the giant, as I say, good reach for fighting bosses. So, my video I've got set up of me killing the boss on my other character was a giant, and it's the first time I've actually been happy to have a giant class. Running around the castle, absolutely awful. Dwarves are amazing for running around the castle. For fighting bosses though, best friend, you know. Really are the best friend of me. So, I was also very impressed with the even spacing of those 3 swords there. Got very distracted by that at one point in this fight. Well, at that point in this fight. So, yet again, trying to take him on. Unfortunately, not jumping as effectively as I could, or using my dashing as effectively as I could. But there we go. And then being an idiot. So, still taking him on, not doing too badly due to being able to hit him from slightly further away. Just gives you that little bit more time to react when he does things like the axe movement and stuff, if you're not quite that near. And there I am, an idiot, dashing straight into his swords. Those swords being left around have been the bane of several of the characters, but you know, you have to put up with it. So re-rolling, because as I said, Hokage, really not what I want to take on the boss with. And then unfortunately getting given a couple of them again. Really annoyed there. But, you know, another guy to slaughter and then do what we can. So we'll just take him in, slaughter him. That's the basic idea behind picking him. Better to pick something that still does some damage rather than the Archmage, which I really like in a way, but when I've got so many non-magic classes that mean I've been upping all the damage output and things, I've not been upping the mana and the magic output. So taking on things late game with the Archmage, actually really quite tough. He's just not set up for it. But I do wish there was a class for matching this guy. And getting very annoyed with him. He keeps jumping in this fight when I want to jump, causing me an awful lot of annoyance, and so I've decided at this point that he should actually be banned from jumping to make things a little bit fairer. He has all those spells and things, so should therefore be disallowed from jumping in order to give us a slight advantage over him, and panicking again because we're at the fountain. So taking the fight over the other end of the arena. Now, one thing I've found is that I seem to avoid the platforms in these fights, taking advantage instead of just my jumps and mobility in the air, rather than trying to downswipe for the platform. Might use them if I get an EHS character, not sure. I'm still not actually sure what those letters stand for. Keep meaning to look them up and then forgetting. So here we have the fountain resurrected. So Johann's in much more evil form, and debating whether or not to leave any of the food uneaten, but then a quick glance at my health and deciding that I really should. And just expressing how his attack patterns, once you've actually fought him twice, because I have on my other character, quite predictable really. And as with this one, you can sort of just stand there, wail on him a bit while that attack's running, and then just try and dodge when he does that swipe. He advertises that he's doing a swipe though, so not so bad. He really does like his swooping across the arena to do different attacks, such as that rather annoying wall spike one. But there we go, we successfully wiped him out. Now, you probably could predict that at the beginning of the episode, but I was so pleased with that. So let's read his text. You have defeated me, but at what price? I may have slain the king, but only after he betrayed his people. Ask yourself, what justice has been met? In the end, we are all guilty of the same sin. Look to your forefathers. Such is the cost for unquestioned loyalty. The sun. I had forgotten how it feels. And now we get the death scene of the fountain. His only kill was the king. Now, I'm not sure where all the other kills that Johannes must have had to get to the king are represented, if anywhere, because you only see this one kill by the fountain. But his parting words there, quite cliche in a way, but quite nice as well. A testament to the 1,000 years he has spent in this room. And enjoying the shower of money there, which has given me a hell of a lot of money for not actually doing anything other than fighting him in that castle. So now you get to see everything you've killed in this castle throughout your attempts to get to this point. And this is cumulative. It does all add together with each New Game Plus. So every boss you see right now will have only a 1 on it, as you'll see with Kaido when he appears in a second. I was impressed I killed 8 visionaries given how often they are locked away in the middle of rooms. But once you kill New Game Plus, that will become a 2 and so on. So all your numbers do add up, which is quite interesting to see how the balance of them changes. As right now, the easy guys, hundreds of them killed. Things like Pterosaur, 1. You'll see a hell of a lot more of those in New Game Plus. You know, so the numbers start to actually even out a bit more when you get to that point. I was absolutely amazed that I killed 8 Zombishnu, because I killed 0 on my other character. And on this screen, I was stunned there's 3 different types of Mimic. I did not know that before seeing the credits. And that 1 kill there of Salos adds to the 1 kill I've got on my other characters for the 2 total I have ever actually taken on and succeeded at, rather than set off and run away from in a panic. Evil old Alexander, as I say, is the one that really does up his difficulty in New Game. He spawns a lot more of those heads around you. Only 1 corrupt lord slain, and yet 6 of Botis, because once I got his attacks down, I actually quite enjoy fighting him and getting the golden chest. So, really good fun. I really hate those plonkies, the third one. They've got 2 different patterns at which they send out the orbs, and because of that, there's not really a safe place to stand to fight them. I'm stunned that I have taken those flowers on twice, and won. Really didn't think I'd taken them on twice. These guys, you just need a lot of damage taking them on. They're so frustrating. Ponce de Leon, still my favourite soundtrack piece from this game. And Chaintus over there, the green guy, evil. So many hits, multiple spikes on chains, really hard to kill. And 74 spike-tool kills from the time when I had Retribution going. Nino Pojo didn't slay a single one, it seems. Was quite surprised by that. Bulbasaurus Rex I wasn't, because I've only a couple of times ever seen him in the normal game. But here you have 17 Herodotus slain, the one boss that you actually kill multiples of on a first run through. Again, no tower guards, you will be seeing more from them as well. You'll be seeing more from all the evil guys, and very few, unless I Grace Rune, of the lower leveled characters. I was also surprised not a single spike trap slain. With all the Retribution kills shown earlier, very surprised. And there's our 1 Johannes, followed by our 1 Fountain. Finally, 30 episodes in, we have slain them. You know, I'm so grateful for everyone that's stuck with me through this series. You know, 30 episodes to kill that boss, which has been slightly ridiculous. As I say, I think a lot of it has been trying to commentate while playing. Playing it when not commentating, so much better performance. As you'll see with the bonus video coming out tomorrow afternoon, so that's Saturday at 3. And without commentating while playing it, had my best run yet and caught it on camera, which was great. So many great moments I've never caught on camera. Shame it wasn't on this guy, but at the same time, you know, I've loved chatting away through playing this game, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I know that people have stuck with me through the whole thing, and so really happy with that. And a big thank you to everyone on this credits list. You know, the ones that have already scrolled by, the ones that are still scrolling by and still to scroll by. Big thank you for such a great game. This series has been so much fun, and it's only possible because of all of you. So big thank you to everyone that's watched this series, everyone that's commented, my friends that have chatted to me about things that I've done in the series and given me ideas and feedback when I see them. And just really a big thanks to everyone. You know, just gosh, this has been a fun journey. So here we are back in front of our castle. We've escaped the evil castle. 103 children slain for the sake of this guy. And 20 hours gone. So thank you for sticking with me for all that time and all those children. Now, several more children are going to be slain in the future, playing New Game Plus, but for the sake of the main series here, that 103 is the end of it. So, not a nice number though to end on. Real shame there. Was really hoping for a better number than that. But, there we go. So now we have our New Game Plus. You actually join in with the same character that you defeated the game on. You can run him through again. If you're good at the game, you can actually run through the castle more than once. So here I decided, shove all the money that we got straight onto armour, because New Game Plus is evil, as you will get to see a little bit of. But unfortunately not that much, because it's evil. Everything is so much harder, but at the same time, so much fun. This game really has its replayability in New Game Plus, because the challenge just gets more and more, so it's not that you get better at the game, and then it just becomes a cakewalk. Oh no, you beat it, and it throws even more at you. So, it must sort of reach a point where, other than increasing the level of the enemies, it can't get much harder, because it can't just throw harder versions at you with new attack patterns, because there are a limited number. So this screen's open. Just to show you over there, the New Game Plus bounty was 50%, which gave me a total bounty at the moment of 70%. So all the gold's worth 17. That's just 2 unlocks on the castle screen of bonus gold, and then the 50% you get from being in a new game. You get another 50% for every New Game Plus you are in. Now, that's a Doom trait rather than the normal Doomverse. A Zombona rather than just a zombie, and you may have noticed the guard boxes were the type that shoot 3 bullets rather than the type that shoot 1. All those easy mobs that you had a fun time learning the patterns of originally are gone. And there you can see the boss door is open. I just quickly decided to jump over the portrait, get the gold, you know, and then decided to be an idiot and hit it and lose a ton of health. But the aim in New Game Plus is to completely take on all the things that you took on before, only in much harder forms. So all the bosses are back to their normal states, not the challenge states. And here I was discussing in the video about how giants are great against this guy, because yes, you have to dodge his eyeballs, but they all, not eyeballs, his fireballs, but they all come out in known patterns. However, when you're stood under him there, you can actually hit him as a giant, you can't hit him as a normal guy, and really can't hit him as a dwarf. Took the wrong direction there. Thought he was doing the segmented like this one. Fireballs when he was actually doing his... But there we go, you dodge them. If you're under him as a giant, no problem, you just stand there, occasionally stepping side to side. So much easier to take him on. But we killed him, which was great, and got a nice chunk of gold for that. And then you get another golden chest every time you defeat a boss, so you really do get a lot of stat increasing in New Game Pluses. And now you're able to take on the challenge version of the boss again. That then is already open if you've unlocked it before. I haven't unlocked Kaida on this guy, I haven't found his obol yet, but any obals you've got are available at this point on the things once you've actually taken on the bosses once. Debated trying to get up that room, then decided it would just kill me too quickly because you need about 4 jumps or to have 2 and sort of a flight rune to be able to make it up to the top of that one. Here we've got different creatures again, higher levels of the originals, and unfortunately I got hit in the back while paying attention to the number of fireballs coming from the top, which signified there were a couple of red eyes up there. The white eyes are no longer around, again as said, unless you grace rune. So unfortunately he passed away. Now you may have noticed this screen has a different coloured background, and I believe I quickly flicked my other character here to show you that it's the same on New Game Plus 2. So there you go. I don't believe there's any other colour changes. Would be a little bit strange if there were, because for the people that are on like New Game Plus 20, that's a lot of extra background colours that the developers would have had to put in. So it's a lot less sinister looking now that you've defeated it once, which is just a nice little change that they put in to sort of say, yeah, you did it, well done. So at least that's the way I take it. So I'd like to just end again on a humongous thank you to the developers for this game, and a huge thank you to my subscribers who have stuck with me through this. Especially big thank you to my friends who I know in real life who have stuck with me and given me advice, you know, that you won't have seen because it's not all in YouTube comments and things. They've given it to me when I've seen them each week, which has been really just of such immense value. And so glad this ended on 30. You know, such a beautiful number is 30. If it had been 31, I'd have ended up having to do another episode. Couldn't have ended on 31. Would though have had to debate 32 or 33. Love both of those numbers. 32, round number in its own sense, and 33, just beautiful. How can you beat 2 3s? Sorry, have a thing about numbers. And so, let's say, big thank you to everyone. You know, and there'll be bonus videos put up occasionally from this series, but no more actual episodes of the series. I will see you again soon in Tiny and Big. That's the long-awaited Let's Play of that one. So hopefully you'll enjoy that as much as you've enjoyed this one, or even more. Fingers crossed. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.